Description: step into the late 21st century, where humanity has achieved a groundbreaking energy revolution. Explore a world powered by sun, wind, and innovation, but not without challenges. How did we overcome the fossil fuel crisis? What groundbreaking technologies emerged, and at what cost? Follow our journey through the triumphs and trials of renewable energy. Chapter 1: A Crisis Ignites Change. The year was 2031. Humanity teetered on the edge of an ecological catastrophe. Hurricanes battered coastal cities, droughts strangled farmland, and relentless wildfires turned once thriving forests to ash. Fossil fuels, the lifeblood of the 20th century, had become the millstone around humanity's neck. Global leaders convened emergency summits, but rhetoric alone could not halt the rising tides. A turning point came when the Energy Freedom Pact was signed by over 150 nations. It mandated an 80% global reduction in fossil fuel consumption by 2040. The declaration was bold, but many doubted humanity's ability to achieve it. In the bustling streets of Dhaka, 28-year-old physicist Amina Rahman was captivated by a broadcast of the announcement. "This will only work," Amina muttered to her colleague, "if we stop thinking small. We need something big, something revolutionary." Her words would echo through history as the foundation for what was to come. But revolutions are never smooth. Amina's ideas, rooted in quantum engineering and decentralized energy grids, were dismissed as fantasy by the scientific community. Undeterred, she assembled a team of renegades, dreamers, and idealists. This group would become the nucleus of a movement that would shake the world. Chapter 2: Building the Solar City. By 2035, Amina's group, now known as Solar Core, achieved their first breakthrough, the hyperarray. Unlike traditional solar panels, hyperarrays utilized advanced nanomaterials to capture sunlight even during storms and nighttime by harnessing infrared radiation. The innovation attracted global attention and significant controversy. The city of Phoenix, Arizona, volunteered to pilot a bold experiment, a 100% solar-powered metropolis. Construction began on what came to be called the Solar City, a sprawling urban area designed to showcase renewable energy as the primary power source. In the heart of Phoenix, Solar Core's headquarters buzzed with activity. Engineers worked tirelessly while protests raged outside. Critics accused the initiative of diverting resources from other urgent needs. One evening, Amina stood on a scaffold overlooking the construction site. Beside her was Alex Carter, a grizzled journalist covering the project. "Do you really think this will work?" he asked. "It has to," Amina replied, her gaze steady. "The stakes are too high. If we fail, we'll prove the naysayers right and doom this planet for generations." Weeks later, the city's first self-sustaining power grid flickered to life. Powered entirely by hyperarrays, it exceeded all expectations, generating surplus energy that could be stored in cutting-edge graphene batteries. The success sent shockwaves around the globe. But not everyone celebrated. The fossil fuel industry was a cornered beast, and as history would soon reveal, a cornered beast can be dangerous. Chapter 3: Shadows of Resistance. As the success of the Solar City made headlines worldwide, the fossil fuel industry launched a coordinated backlash. A coalition of powerful oil and gas corporations, dubbed Energy Titans, funded aggressive disinformation campaigns. Viral videos claimed hyperarrays caused cancer. Rumors spread that the graphene batteries leaked toxic chemicals. Though debunked, the lies left seeds of doubt in the minds of the public. In Washington, D.C., lobbyists poured millions into delaying renewable energy legislation. Fossil fuel executives appeared on talk shows, warning of economic collapse. "Solar energy can't keep factories running," they proclaimed. "Do you want rolling blackouts?" Meanwhile, in Phoenix, sabotage loomed. Hyperarray panels were vandalized, and anonymous threats flooded Solar Core's offices. Late one night, Amina received a frantic call from her chief engineer, Raj Patel. Amina, someone hacked into the grid. Racing to the control center, Amina found her team in chaos. The sabotage had triggered a temporary shutdown of Phoenix's power system. For hours, the city plunged into darkness. Who would do this? Alex Carter demanded, watching Amina coordinate the recovery. Someone terrified of what we're building, Amina replied grimly. But fear won't stop us. Within 24 hours, the grid was restored. The sabotage, though damaging, rallied public support. Citizens held candlelit vigils, demanding stronger protections for renewable energy projects. For every opponent Solar Core faced, 100 new supporters emerged. Chapter 4: The Wind Revolution. By 2040, the success of the Solar City had inspired similar projects worldwide. Yet, despite the progress, it became clear that solar power alone couldn't meet global demand. The challenge intensified in regions with limited sunlight or frequent storms. In Denmark, another visionary emerged, Lars Eklund, an eccentric inventor who spent his life designing wind turbines. Lars introduced the Skywind, massive floating turbines anchored miles offshore. These turbines used advanced AI algorithms to track wind patterns and adjust their blades for maximum efficiency. Lars's project, initially dismissed as impractical, gained traction after a freak windstorm tested Skywind's durability. While nearby coal plants suffered catastrophic failures, the turbines continued to generate power. At an energy summit in Tokyo, Amina and Lars crossed paths for the first time. "I've been following your work," Lars said, extending a hand. "You've inspired us all." Likewise, Amina replied with a smile. "Imagine what we could accomplish together." The two pioneers collaborated to launch Project Horizon, a global initiative combining hyperrays and Skywind. The project aimed to create an interconnected energy grid spanning continents, ensuring clean power reached even the most remote corners of the Earth. However, as renewable energy advanced, a new challenge arose, balancing progress with equity. Who owned this energy? Who controlled its distribution? And would the developing world reap the same benefits as the wealthiest nations? These questions threatened to unravel everything they had worked for. Chapter 5: Power to the People. By 2045, Project Horizon was operational, and renewable energy output had surpassed that of fossil fuels. Yet the disparities Amina and Lars feared became painfully evident. While wealthier nations enjoyed uninterrupted green power, developing countries struggled to afford the advanced infrastructure required for hyperrays and Skywind turbines. At a United Nations summit in Nairobi, Amina addressed world leaders. Her voice was resolute. The energy revolution means nothing if it leaves half the planet behind. We must democratize access to this technology. To achieve this, Solar Core spearheaded the Open Energy Initiative. It aimed to provide low-cost, modular renewable energy systems for underserved communities. Small, portable hyperrays and compact wind turbines were designed to be easily assembled and maintained without expensive expertise. In Kenya, for example, villages previously reliant on diesel generators began using these modular systems to power schools, clinics, and businesses. The transformation was profound. Farmers installed solar-powered irrigation systems, and remote hospitals finally had the electricity needed for life-saving equipment. But even as hope spread, opposition intensified. Private energy companies, sensing a loss of control, attempted to stifle the initiative. They lobbied governments to impose steep tariffs on renewable technology exports. In response, grassroots movements rallied behind the slogan, "Power to the People." One protest in Rio de Janeiro drew millions. Among them was Sofia Mendes, a teacher who spoke passionately to the crowd. "Energy is not a luxury, it's a right. We're done paying for the greed of the past." Her speech went viral, galvanizing global support for the initiative. Amina watched the movement grow with pride, But she knew the hardest battles were still ahead. Chapter 6: The Energy Wars. By 2050, the energy revolution faced its greatest test yet, a full-blown geopolitical conflict over control of renewable resources. Countries with vast reserves of rare earth metals, essential for manufacturing hyperrays and wind turbines, began hoarding their supplies. Economic sanctions and trade blockades followed, plunging the world into chaos. Amina found herself thrust into diplomacy. Sitting across from diplomats in Beijing, she pleaded for cooperation. "This is bigger than any one nation. If we fracture now, we risk everything we've built." The talks were fraught with tension, but a breakthrough came when Solar Core unveiled a groundbreaking alternative: synthetic materials. Using advances in molecular engineering, scientists developed substitutes for rare earth metals. This innovation promised to decentralize production and eliminate resource monopolies. Yet the shift wasn't without sacrifice. Factories built for traditional energy materials became obsolete, leading to widespread unemployment in mining regions. Solar Core established retraining programs to help displaced workers transition to roles in renewable energy manufacturing, but progress was slow. Amid the turmoil, Amina faced personal attacks. Media outlets painted her as a tech autocrat, wielding too much influence over the global energy system. Some even accused Solar Core of fostering dependency on their technology. During an interview, Alex Carter, now a trusted friend, challenged her. "You've achieved what many thought was impossible, but at what cost? Is the energy revolution truly for everyone?" Amina hesitated, then spoke with quiet determination. "We're not done yet, Alex. The revolution isn't a moment, it's a process. And it belongs to everyone willing to fight for it." Chapter 7: The Dawn of Energy Democracy. By 2060, the synthetic material revolution had fully decentralized energy production. Small, local energy hubs replaced vast, centralized grids. Each community could now generate, store, and distribute its own power using advanced hyperrays and microturbines. This shift gave birth to a new concept: energy democracy. In the city of Lagos, Nigeria, a cooperative called Green Roots became a model for the world. Green Roots wasn't just about energy, it empowered communities. Members contributed their skills, from engineering to education, ensuring everyone had a stake in the system. Amina visited Lagos to see the cooperative firsthand. She stood beneath a canopy of floating solar kites, marveling at the innovation. A young engineer named Tund approached her. "You started this," he said. "No," Amina corrected him with a smile. "You did. All of you. This is what I dreamed of, people taking control of their own futures." But even as energy democracy flourished, challenges persisted. In regions destabilized by climate disasters, rebuilding with renewable energy was slow and fraught with political struggles. Amina dedicated herself to ensuring no community was left behind. Lars Eklund, now a revered figure in renewable technology, joined her in launching Resilient Earth, a global fund aimed at fast-tracking energy infrastructure in disaster-prone areas. The initiative proved life-saving when a massive hurricane devastated the Caribbean in 2063. Thanks to pre-installed modular energy systems, the islands recovered faster than anyone had thought possible. The dream of a world powered by clean energy was becoming a reality, but Amina knew that sustainability was about more than technology. It required cooperation, equity, and constant vigilance. Chapter 8: The Final Frontier. In 2070, the energy revolution reached new heights, literally. Solar Core announced Project Starfire, an ambitious plan to build the first solar satellite array. The project aimed to capture energy directly from space and beam it down to Earth. Amina, now 67 but as determined as ever, worked alongside a new generation of scientists. Among them was her protege, Ellie Chang, who shared her mentor's relentless drive. Space-based solar energy, Ellie explained during a press conference, is the ultimate step in achieving energy abundance. No longer bound by weather or geography, humanity can unlock limitless power. The project wasn't without risks. Critics warned that concentrating so much energy in a single satellite could lead to catastrophic consequences if misused. Some feared it could become a weapon. Amina addressed these concerns directly. Technology is a tool. It reflects the values of those who wield it. This project must remain a symbol of unity, not division. In 2075, the first satellite in the Starfire network launched successfully. The energy beamed down was enough to power an entire region, proving the concept's viability. For the first time, humanity glimpsed a future free from the constraints of Earth's resources. Standing at the launch site, Amina turned to Ellie. "This is your moment now. Carry it forward." Ellie nodded, her eyes shining with determination. "We will. I promise." As Amina watched the satellite ascend, she felt a profound sense of accomplishment. The energy revolution had not only transformed the planet, but had redefined what humanity could achieve together. Chapter 9: Legacy and Reflection. In 2090, a documentary chronicling the energy revolution premiered globally. It featured interviews with pioneers, activists, and ordinary people whose lives had been changed by renewable energy. At its center was Amina Rahman, whose tireless dedication had shaped the course of history. Amina, now retired, reflected on the journey during her interview. "It wasn't about the technology," she said. "It was about the people, their resilience, their creativity, their hope." The energy revolution wasn't just about powering homes, it was about empowering humanity. Her words resonated deeply. Across the globe, cities and villages celebrated Earth Day 2090 by illuminating monuments with a soft, sustainable glow of renewable energy. From the deserts of the Middle East to the tundras of Siberia, the planet shone as a testament to what humanity could achieve when united by a common purpose. Though the road had been fraught with conflict, setbacks, and sacrifice, the energy revolution stood as one of humanity's greatest triumphs, a beacon for future generations. And in the hearts of billions, the dream continued to burn brightly.